Hi everyone. So I just want to share with you, if you watch all these big shots, right, all these CEOs of banks and all of that, and you watch how they're telling you how to build your business and how to get your jobs, you can do all that and you can still not get work in Canada. So when I worked for Primerica, even when I got let go from TD, the big thing that they tell you is to, first of all, have your elevator speech ready. So have a 3-minute speech where you can introduce yourself to somebody, because you are selling your skills, you are selling yourself. Especially if you want to work in the business, in operations, you have to be able to have that 3-minute speech ready when you introduce yourself. Tell people what you do, what your skills are, and what you can do for them. And then the other thing they tell you is that you have to get out. So they tell you, don't sit at home. Don't just sit at home and expect the job to come to you. Get out and network. Go to events, join events online. Go to your neighborhood stores. Go and talk to people. Talk to people in your church. Talk to people in your community centers. Talk to people at your grocery stores. Talk to people when you're going out, even like to get your hair done. Talk to people and tell them that you're looking for work, you're looking for opportunities. Tell them what you did in the past and what your skills are, what your strengths are. So you can do all that. I've been doing that for 2 years. I don't have not one job offer. Not one. So their system is not working. And then also now with AI, a lot of people you have AI tools, so you can basically get AI to write your resume. You can take your job, whatever job you're applying for, and then ask AI to write your resume for that job. And then you can tweak it and send it in if you want. I don't. I take the time because I want to market what I've actually done and what I can do for companies. And then I send it out. But with AI, there's a lot you can do. You can write a whole course. You don't have to go to Regis College if you don't want. You can put it in, go to ChatGPT and put, or what's this other one? Copilot. And put in there, write me a prayer, write me an evening prayer for the Christian community. And give it some keywords like focus on strength, focus on resilience, focus on health, and it will generate a prayer for you. You can ask it to generate, like when John Maxwell did his books and all that, all these books that I use for my leadership development and the guides and all of that. They didn't have all this technology that they have now. So he had to actually sit down and think about, okay, what questions do I want people to reflect on for this leadership development chapter or skill? How do I want this to resonate with them? What do I want them to stick with when they're reading this and when we are doing our group work, our roundtables? You don't need to do that anymore. I've done things on ChatGPT where I've taken some of Mr. Maxwell's principles and I've asked it to generate a journal for me, to generate a handout, to generate a package. It's so easy today. You don't need all that. You don't so our things are specialized, so you can't just take them and use them. They'll be fined if they do that. But I'm just saying that technology has advanced and there's so many opportunities. Even if you want to write a proposal, I used the ChatGPT when I sent my proposals to Zimbabwe. I used it to develop the framework. And then I took that framework and I enhanced it. I tweaked it. I put in the company name I was sending it to or the school. And then I looked at their websites, I saw what they do in those schools and how I could help them. So there's so many tools available today that you can use. And we've all got the same tools. Africa has the same tools as us, if not more advanced, because they're working with India. So they have the technology to generate, like when you do transfers between banks here, it can take 3 to 10 days depending on your bank, your financial institution, There it's instant. So there's a lot of different things that are available today. And I think, yeah, it's good that JP Morgan is going into Africa. I just think the African leaders need to be careful, because that's what Americans always do. That's what they always do. And Canadians as well. When you come here or when you are there, they don't want to develop you. They don't want to invest in you. They don't want to help you to retrain, to requalify. Nothing. But when you've got all that, then they're like, okay, yeah, now you can come in and work, and on minimum wage. So the African leaders need to be careful that they don't do what they did to Robert Mugabe and spoil everything and ruin everything. And that is how they do it here. That is the way. It's like, what solutions are you bringing to my organization? How can you help me, especially in the banks? It depends on the company. At Teleperformance, it's not like that. It's more like, this is how we want you to do it. So it really depends on the organization. But yeah, those old systems are not working, of get out and talk to people, network, tell people that you're looking, talk to people, make sure you're talking, make sure you're not sitting at home, make sure you're not just applying for jobs online. If you go out today and you try to set up a meeting at a company, at a bank, at a financial institution, in the hospitals, you won't get it. They'll just tell you, sorry, go back and apply online, and please do not call the company, do not follow up, do not come here and drop things off, because it's seen as solicitation. So the old ways are gone. In the old ways, in the old days, even in Zimbabwe, if you wanted to develop a relationship with someone, or you wanted to establish that relationship, to strengthen it, you would go in, you would drop off a box of chocolates or cookies or calendar, something. Just something to say, hey, I thought of you, and I'm interested in opportunities to partner with you, to work together. Now you can't do that. Even before here at the branches at TD, when you used to go in, they used to give you a calendar and a pen or something, like, because it was Christmas or the New Year. They don't do all that anymore. And there's a lot of infiltration now in Canada. A lot of the Chinese people are frightened. I posted a documentary yesterday of a woman who's had bad experiences here. And many of us are frightened, because if you're living in a Western country where you're being sent hate messages and threats to convert, and you're being sent the message through companies and organizations that are supposed to be reputable and stand up for women's rights and women's dignity, promoting prostitution and calling it sex work, it doesn't leave women feeling very safe. It doesn't leave women feeling very good. And if you don't believe me, you can speak to Marco Mendocino. And I worked with him in the Liberal Party. And how many Filipino women came up at his town hall and talked about how they were being abused, how they would take cleaning jobs, and then once they got those cleaning jobs and they got in there, they would demand sex. And then the police would tell them, well, there's no proof, so we can't do anything. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So, yeah, the old systems are not working anymore. I mean, yes, you can still have your elevator speech ready, and you can still go out and talk to people and network and all that. But I've been at home for 2 years. For 2 years. And in that 2 years, my mother and I have had no income. Because my mom is from Zimbabwe. I sponsored her and I brought her here. So I'm responsible for looking after her and being her support person. Yes, my sister's also there, and my brother-in-law and the rest of the family. But it's my responsibility. I sign the papers. So I've been trying to get into a well-paid position, not from the last 2 years, from the time I came to Canada. So if you watch those things, like you watch the World Economic Forum and you watch JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon and all of that, they're at the top of their game. They don't know what the ordinary people are dealing with. They don't know what the single women are dealing with in Canada, in America. They don't know about the poverty report. They don't know that Canada got a fail on the poverty report. They don't know. The ones who know is like the Jesuits. They know, but what are they doing to help people like me? So it's just about, you need to be able to think things through critically, because sometimes, yes, you do get like former colleagues or other people who got let go who will reach back and who will say, you know what, our company is hiring, and they'll do a referral, like they'll contact their contacts, whether it's at the recruitment agencies or internally, to say, I know somebody who's looking, and they'll pass your name forward. But most of the time now, it's just a numbers game. It's just like you just have to keep applying and sending out applications and speaking to your transferable skills and what you have to offer, and changing your careers. Because I started out as an HR assistant here. In England, I worked as a legal assistant and receptionist. And then in Zimbabwe, I worked as an HR manager, and in South Africa. So you have to keep changing and adapting depending on what the country needs at the time. They still, if you go on the Canada skills, like skill shortages site for immigration, they say, oh, we don't have enough executive assistants, we don't have enough project managers, we don't have enough people with experience as executive assistants. But people like me here are not getting anything. So I don't know why they're saying there's a shortage. And in fact, people are saying there's too much immigration. Like there's too many people coming in, there's not enough housing, and it's just not working. It's just the old model is not working. So it's just something to keep in mind, because you can listen to them, yeah, but are they opening doors? Are they doing anything to help? All those organizations I tagged, World Bank, World Economic Forum, all the ones I tagged, I've helped them. I've been on their calls, I've been watching them, I've been volunteering through partners, Gavi, I've helped Gavi, I've helped the One Campaign, I've helped the Rockefeller Foundation, because we partner with them through the church and also through the One Campaign. So have any one of them put my name forward and said that, oh yeah, you know what, Belinda's looking for a job as a project manager and she'd like to work for BMO, or she has transferable skills to work in executive assistant work? They haven't. I even told Jamie Dimon, I tagged him on my post on LinkedIn. I tagged him. They haven't done anything. So it's a bit of a hypocrisy, actually, because if you, yes, you can help people in Africa and far away who you've never met, but you can't help me, somebody you know, somebody you've met, and somebody that's helped your organizations, then it doesn't say much about the credibility of JP Morgan Chase and places like that. Because it's the same thing here, it's the same thing with TD. Every time I go into the bank, they ask me, did you apply? They're looking for executive assistants, they're looking for HR people, they're looking for people with project management skills. I told them, yeah, I applied. So why am I not getting the opportunity? 2 years is a long, long time. It's a long time. If you don't have a support network, if you don't have friends, if you don't have good family, if you don't have that strength around you, it can be very, very difficult. And I also have to be strong for my mom. So it's just things to think about when you watch those videos and that. Because they did the same thing with Robert Mugabe. He used to get invited everywhere. Tony Blair used to invite him, UN used to invite him, all these big banks used to invite him. And then afterwards it's like, well, we want you to do this, we want you to do that. And then Zimbabwe started going downhill. So it's all up to us. We also have to use our voices and we have to speak out because with that's what they do. They come in, oh yeah, you got your credentials now, and you graduated and all that, and then they do the wrong things, and then your life suffers. Just like when Teleperformance couldn't fix my ID for MLB and they let me go. I was like, fix the ID. It wasn't only me. There were 2 or 3 of us. They couldn't fix the ID, so they fired us. So, whose fault is that? That's the company's responsibility, not my responsibility. When I work in the banks, that's part of my responsibility when I work as a project manager. They have a form that the managers send to me, and then on that form, I have to put what systems they need in place, what needs to be done, and then the IT test it to make sure that they have the access set up. And then when the consultants come in from Deloitte, Accenture, all these places, I give them the laptop and everything, and then they test it and make sure it's working. So it really depends on how you look at it. Because now the African countries are starting to come up. They will want to go in there. I don't post a lot from the Indian leaders because he doesn't speak in English, so I don't understand anything. But I post for Zimbabwe because I was born there. And so I would like to see them come up and build partnerships with Canada and that mutual investment. I want to see what's going to come out of this G20 because Canada went. I want to see. But yeah, that's how it goes. And even before, if companies let you go, they would organize outplacement, they would organize counseling, they would organize all the support systems in place to help you. They don't do that anymore. So you have to have your own support system. You have to look for your doctors, your counselors, support through the church. They don't do that anymore. They don't provide anything. Especially if you're on a contract, there's nothing. And believe you me, each job loss is devastating. It's equivalent to losing a life partner when you lose your job. So it's not a joke. So anyway, I just wanted to share that because I think it's one of the things they keep saying here, get out, talk to people, talk to people, talk to people. Still no job.